Well, today I thought we would make one of those witch's feet decorations where the witches crash into a cauldron that you can put out in front of your dollhouse. Stay tuned and see how fun and easy this project is. All right, we are going to start our project by making the feet for our witch. And to do that, I've got 2 pieces of wire. Oops, one of them ran away. And this is some of that wire that I think Dollar Tree sells it over in their floral stuff. It's really soft, but it's thick enough that we can have it work for what we're doing. I have some polymer. Oh, I also have my TLS. The very end of my TLS here, I'm going to dip into that because I don't want white. I have some polymer clay in black, and I've kind of made a snake, and I cut off a couple of chunks. You don't have to be exact about your sizes. I cut 2 snakes, and then I've got 4 pieces that I cut off of the same snake. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this and I'm going to roll the one end of this snake into a point. Now, if this looks familiar, we made the witch that's crashed into the dollhouse last year. We made her feet pretty similar. So I've dipped this in, kind of wipe it around the inside of the bottle. If it gets up on the side, that's fine. We're going to go down through one of these pieces of clay. I'm going to dip into the TLS again, through here. I've got some there. And more. I'm stuck to that one, so I'll do this one. And then we're going to form this. And I'll try to have pictures. I'll take pictures as I go on the next one. But this is what we have so far. We have a piece of clay, a slice, a snake, and a slice. Then I'm going to set it down with this resting on the tray, the middle of the snake resting on the tray, and then I'm going to roll up this point. And this will give us kind of that stereotypical witch's shoe. So off camera, I'm going to do the same thing with the other piece, but I'm going to take pictures at each step, and those will be over on the blog post. So if you need to refer to those, they'll be there for you. After I get this done, I'm going to bake these. I think I'm going to give them 15 minutes because that clay is kind of thick. I want to make sure it cures all the way and that the TLS is cured. Now we might need to touch up the TLS with some black paint. It's hard to say, but we will see how it goes. So I am going to get these done, get them baked and cooled, and as soon as I get these in the oven, I'll come back and we can work on getting the next step done that needs to also dry. So I'll be right back. All right, while our witch's feet bake, I am going to work on the pot that she's going to be sticking out of. I'm just using one of these wooden shapes. They call these a candle cup, and you can get them anywhere they have the little wooden craft pieces. I have some apple barrel in black and a brush that Plaid sent me, and I am just going to, I won't make you watch me do the whole thing, I'm going to paint the outside and down into the rim a little ways on our little pot. When this is dry and the witch's feet have cooled, I'll come back and we will work on the next step. All right, so the next 2 steps we're going to do at once here. We're going to make a paper tube. I made 1, you'll need to make 2. And I cut this. This is a piece of white cardstock. That same cardstock I use for just about everything on the channel. And it's cut 1.5 inches by, I just kind of whacked it off with was about 5.5. And I'm going to take my scissors. I'm going to start by pre-curling it around my scissors. Now I've got a wooden skewer. You know, the kind from the kitchen. And I'm going to pre-wrap it. And this doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be super tight. We're only going to see the outside. It doesn't have to be perfectly round. It's okay. This is not, it's just, we just need something to put over those wires to give the witch some legs. So it doesn't look like just wire sticking out of there. Done that. Now I'm going to go back. I am going to, oops, not run that through it. Where did I put? I lost my toothpick. I'm going to spread the glue out a little bit so it goes more to the edges a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then we're going to wrap it around our wooden skewer. This way we make sure we have a hole in the middle. Wrap it kind of tight, but it doesn't have to be perfect. We're not going to see the ends. The ends are going to be kind of sandwiched between the tops of her shoes and the bubbly cauldron area. Okay. Get that end glued down, slide it off of your wooden skewer so it doesn't glue on, and put it off to the side. Now that our paint is dry on here, I've cut a piece of floral foam, and I've cut it so that it's a size that I know I can kind of jam down in there. Now keep in mind this candle cup does have a hole in the bottom, which is good and bad both. It's good because that means as I push this in, the air can go out the bottom and it won't block this, because sometimes when you get air behind something it makes it hard to get in. The bad part is if you get too much glue it could leak out the bottom, so watch that. Okay, that's as far as that's going to go. That's fine. I can trim it off once my glue is dry. So I'm going to let the glue dry on both of those pieces, all those pieces, and when I come back we will do some trimming of this and some painting of those legs. All right, the glue is dried enough that we can go ahead and work on our witch's legs, and I have got out some of our vibrant orange or vivid orange paint that we've been using on a lot of our Halloween stuff. I'm going to get the skewer back out, and I'm actually going to slide these. Now that the glue is dry, I don't have to worry about them sticking. And this will make it a lot easier to paint, and then I can lay this across something and for them to dry. I think I'm going to be lazy and just pull my paint off of here. And I'm going to give both legs a thorough coat of black paint, or orange paint. Can't tell my colors today. All right, I'll get the other one painted and then I'll rest this where it can dry. When this orange paint is dry, we'll come back and then we'll add some black stripes to our witch's legs and we can move on to the next step. All right, my legs have dried. I'm going to do one on camera and one off. I'm going to paint some black stripes around, whoops, that was really crooked. Around our legs. So I'm going to start at one end. I'm going to do a stripe. On the skewer you can kind of turn it. It makes it a little easier to go straight. I'm going to go at the other end. I'm not going to put a lot of stripes on, just a couple. Probably try and get one more in the middle if I can without messing it all up. Well, I'm going to add another stripe in the middle, and then I'm going to do the other leg, and when these are dry we can come back and start doing some assembly. I almost forgot we need to prep this for assembly also. So we've got, my foam is sticking out a little bit, so I'm going to go in with a knife, and I'm going to cut it down so that it's a little below the surface of the top. And then I'm going to take some of my paint and paint that green foam. I already cleaned up my paint. Now I need more. As I was putting the paint back in the jar, I realized, oh, I need to do the top of the foam so that it doesn't show as much. There. Now we can let this dry and then we'll come back and start assembly. All right, so here's where we are so far. So I am going to stick a which is like in, and I am going to cover the top of this with Elmer's or tacky glue. That's not going to hold our stuff really well, but it'll be fine. And when we get done, we are going to put a coat of Mod Podge over the top of everything. And I got stuff on my glue, so I need to wipe that off. I think my paint was maybe not all the way dry there. All right, so we've got our leg on our, and push that in as far as you can. And then the one that I saw online, that I saw a picture of that I thought was really cute, they'd used pool noodles. I don't have pool noodles small enough, but I've got a bunch of pony beads here. And I thought that would kind of give the same look. So I'm just going to put, I've got a pulled out, I have a bag of mixed colors. I bought them back during the pandemic when we were all making masks. I was making them with the adjustable elastic using pony beads. So I have a big bag of pony beads left still. So I thought, well, I will go ahead and stick some blue, some green and yellow and a couple of white ones on. And it will kind of look like our little witch here is, I don't know what she's in. She's in trouble. So I am going to let this dry. I don't want to put anything any glue that would, most of the glues I have that will work better with plastic than tacky glue would also eat the styrofoam. So I'm going to let this dry. And then I think I'll come back and probably add a couple more with some E6000 on top. And then we can go ahead and put some Mod Podge on this, and then it will be done. So I'll be back when this is dry. All right, the tacky glue has dried. I actually let it dry overnight because it took a while to get dry. So I've put out a little bit of E6000 on a piece of parchment paper here, because what I want to do is I want to get some E6000 in the works here and put that, kind of glue a few more beads up on the top, and also kind of glue them to help this all be kind of a solid mass. One more, let's get a green one. I think I need a little more. I don't want to use a lot of E6000, and I want to give this plenty of time to cure before I seal it. So I am going to now set this off to the side. I'm going to let this glue cure for at least 5 or 6 hours. Technically, E6000 needs about 24 hours to cure completely, but I think after about 6, 7, 8 hours, I'll feel comfortable going ahead and adding a coat of Mod Podge to the exterior of all of this. So when this has had time to set up, I'll be back and we'll Mod Podge it, and then we can see what it looks like. All right, the glue has had time to cure now, so I am going to use some satin Mod Podge, and I'm going to coat the whole thing. I've put this onto a craft stick using some of that blue poster tack. And when I do the first part, I can hold on to the pot. But when I get down to doing the bottom half of this, I'm going to want to use that craft stick to hold on to it. I did make sure that it would stand up, that it would balance on the craft stick, and go over these beads. This is part of why we are waiting until now to, excuse me, to put the Mod Podge on, is because the Mod Podge will help us to keep those in place. We want to help glue this all together. I really don't want to go to put this out next year and have it in pieces. So I am going to go ahead and continue to apply the satin Mod Podge. And yeah, I'm working out of the jar, which I very seldom do. But for this, I decided it would be fine. This has been drying for plenty of time. I know everything is dry. I'm not going to contaminate my jar. So I'm going to get this done. Don't put too thick of a coat on, because too thick of a coat of Mod Podge does have a tendency to remain sticky no matter what you're putting it on. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up, clean my brush, and allow it to dry. When the Mod Podge is dry, we'll move over to the front porch of the dollhouse and we'll look at this in place on the dollhouse. Alright, I've placed our witch's feet decoration on the table in front of the dollhouse porch. You just have to imagine what it will look like once we get landscaping around the dollhouse. But I love how they turned out. They're adorable, and they have the kind of the same feeling as the one I saw online that was using the pool noodles. Be sure and check the blog post. I'll have dimensions that I used for everything over there. If you enjoyed today's video, please hit the like button. Leave me a comment. What kinds of themes would you like to see me make items for to decorate your dollhouse in? If you enjoy my content and haven't subscribed, I encourage you to hit that subscription button and the notification bell so you know when I put up a new video. Thank you very much for watching today, and I will talk to you next time. Bye!